It's that time of the week again. Week 2 just finished up, and so now it's time for me to get my week 3 picks in. Starting off with the Patriots at the Jets on Thursday night, and the Patriots have honestly looked like a decent football team. On top of all that, I haven't really been that impressed with the Jets. If they'd beaten the Titans more convincingly, maybe I'd believe in them more, but I'm just not super optimistic for them. With that said, however, with the lack of talent on the Patriots roster, especially on offense, I'll give the slight edge to the Jets. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle and a 20-17 win for New York. Next up is the Giants at the Browns. I feel like the Giants are very lucky that the Panthers exist, otherwise they would be the punching bag of the league, if they aren't already. Do I think the Cleveland Browns are a good team? Not really. At least they haven't played like it. But do I think a team like the Giants is going to go on the road and beat them? No. I think this should be an easy win for the Browns, 24-13. And next we have the Eagles at the Saints, and this is a game that I'm really on the fence about. I'm not a big believer in the Saints, but after demolishing the Cowboys like that, I have to start wondering if they're legit. Maybe an offensive coordinator change really was all they needed. And as for the Eagles, choking against the Falcons like that was not pretty. But the thing about Derek Carr is that as soon as I start believing in him, he craps his pants. I am going to pick the Eagles here 24-21, although I could easily see this game going either way. The Texans at the Vikings is next up, and the Texans didn't really look all that impressive against the Bears, but a win is a win. And as for the Vikings, they're coming off of a very impressive win against the 49ers. But at the end of the day, I have a lot more faith in CJ Stroud than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is impressing, but I'm still going to take the Texans in this one, 23-20. Now we've got the Broncos taking on the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers might be one of the teams I've slept on the most. I didn't really see them making any big improvements this offseason. I thought they'd be around the same as they were last year, but they genuinely look very good. Baker Mayfield is dicing up defenses so far, and well, you can't really say the same about the Broncos offense. Pretty easy pick here. I'll say the Bucs win 23-16. Now we've got the Packers at the Titans. This could be interesting if it's a Malik Willis revenge game, but I don't really believe in Malik Willis. And considering it took 3 interceptions by the Packers defense just to squeak past the Colts, I have a hard time seeing them consistently win with him at quarterback. I don't think the Titans are very good, but they've been playing tough so far. I actually do think the Titans are going to win this one. I'll say they take it in a 17-14 snooze fest. Now we've got the Bears at the Colts, and I really don't know if I can pick the Bears to win a game until their offense shows that they can do something. The Colts offense did not look very good last week, and the Bears do have a good defense, but ultimately I believe in the Colts more than I believe in the Bears. I think the Colts take this one at home, 17-10. Now for the Chargers at the Steelers, and this is also a bit of a tough one. The Steelers are 2-0, but they don't look really impressive. Then again, they never do. And as for the Chargers, they're also 2-0, but they didn't exactly have the strongest competition. I am going to pick the Steelers to win this one in Pittsburgh, 19-17. Now for the Dolphins at the Seahawks. And this one pretty much entirely hinges on Tua's status for the game. If Tua somehow clears concussion protocol and can play on Sunday, then it's a tough matchup. But if Tua doesn't play, I think the Seahawks have no excuse to lose this one. Going under the assumption that Tua isn't playing, I'm going to say that the Seahawks win at home 24-17. Now for the Panthers at the Raiders, and I'm pretty much going to be saying this for every Panthers game. I think the Raiders just take care of business and get out with their free win. Now with Bryce Young benched, will things be different with Andy Dalton? I actually do expect the Panthers to be better on offense, which is kind of sad, but I still think there's no contest here. I'll give it to the Raiders 26-17. Now for the 49ers at the Rams, and this one's played in LA, but I don't know if I believe in them enough to pick them for an upset here, especially with all the injuries they're having. In large part because of that, I am going to go with the 49ers here. Maybe Matt Stafford can make some magic happen, but I have the 49ers winning this one, 27-17. Now for the Lions at the Cardinals. And it'll be interesting to see if the Cardinals carry over any of the momentum from that Rams game. But I'm sure the Lions are itching to have one back after losing to the Bucs last week. And as impressive as the Cardinals looked against the Rams, I think the Lions are just leagues above the Cardinals talent-wise. So I'm going to pick the Lions to bounce back against the Cardinals, 26-20. Ravens at Cowboys is up next, and this is an interesting one. Two should-be Super Bowl contenders coming off of embarrassing losses, and yet despite the 0-2 start, I still believe in the Ravens a lot more than the Cowboys. So even though this game's in Dallas, I'm going to pick the Ravens to win, 24-21. Now for the Chiefs at the Falcons. And the Falcons had an impressive end to that Eagles game, although they got very lucky with that drop by Saquon. And against a team like the Chiefs, I don't think they really stand a chance. The Chiefs were a little lucky to escape that Bengals game with a win, but that doesn't change the fact that I think they're the best team in the league. I'll take the Chiefs 27-20. And now for the first game of the Monday night doubleheader, the Jaguars at the Bills. The Jaguars have been very disappointing so far. They could have gained some respect back from me if they beat the Browns, but they couldn't do it. And as for the Bills, it's starting to look like I definitely was sleeping on them. Although injuries are definitely a concern, that's really the only concern I have with them. The Bills should take this one pretty easily, 28-17. And finally, we have the Commanders at the Bengals, and this is another easy one. If the Commanders can barely squeak past a Giants team that doesn't even have a kicker, there's just no way they're beating a team like the Bengals, especially after the Bengals came this close to beating the Chiefs. I'm gonna pick the Bengals to win this one at home, 30-14. And there's all my picks. Hopefully this week isn't as upset ridden as last week. I only went 8-8.